began Temujin, the weight of the herd. The request came through an old channel, the kind that still moved by word of mouth rather than phone. A herder named Suckbat had driven into Ulaanbaatar with a borrowed truck, and a problem that could not be solved by the district office. His family's winter camp, part of a small cooperative that had pooled animals after the last hard dzud, was losing livestock. The official papers called it disease. The animals themselves showed no fever, no lesions, only absence. Suckbat's grandfather had once ridden with Temujin's own kin on the autumn migration. That was enough. Temujin agreed to ride out. He did not begin with the mining company or the land office. He began with the herds. For 3 days he moved between the jurors of the cooperative, accepting bowls of milk tea, listening more than he spoke. The families were careful with their words. They had already learned that raised voices brought inspectors and new forms to sign. What they offered instead were details. The same veterinarian's name on every disease report, the sudden appearance of survey markers near the best summer grazing, the quiet visits from a man in a clean jacket who spoke of relocation support and modern opportunities. Temujin rode the perimeter at dawn and dusk. The missing animals had not wandered. Tracks showed they had been driven, carefully and at night, toward a holding area near a secondary road. From there the paper trail took over. The veterinarian who signed the certificates had not left the city in 6 weeks. His stamp, however, had been busy. Bureaucracy, Temujin knew, could clear land more thoroughly than any fence. The mining company's local fixer worked out of a rented office near the district administration building. He did not threaten. He processed. Applications for grazing rights were delayed. Disease notifications triggered mandatory quarantines that made traditional movement impossible. A land grant proposal for exploration was already moving through the proper channels, each stamp making the herder's claim look weaker on paper. Temujin did not confront the fixer. He mapped the pressure instead. A customs officer who still owed him a quiet favor confirmed that the company's parent group was sensitive to international perception. Several of its backers advertised strict environmental and community standards. A rival contractor, smaller and hungrier, made it known that he would prefer the grant to fail rather than watch a competitor lock up the valley. Temujin used both. He did not leak documents to journalists. He simply ensured that a concise, factual summary of the rubber-stamped disease reports, the absentee veterinarian, and the timing of the survey markers reached 2 mid-level analysts who advised the foreign investors. The information arrived without accusation, only as material that required clarification before the next funding review. At the same time, word of the same irregularities found its way to a provincial faction, already watching the district land office for overreach. Uncertainty, once introduced, moved faster than any formal complaint. Within 3 weeks, the exploration application was withdrawn, pending further community consultation. The quarantine notices were quietly rescinded. The absentee veterinarian found his stamp under internal review. The fixer was reassigned to a less delicate project. No charges were filed. No press conference was held. The cooperative received no apology and needed none. On a clear morning, Temujin rode out one last time. The herders were already moving their animals toward the higher summer pastures, the sheep and goats spreading across the green slopes in the old pattern. Suckbat raised a hand in simple acknowledgement. No speech was required. Temujin turned his horse back toward the city. Behind him, the steppe carried the low sound of the herd, steady and unbroken. The weight of the animals on the land had been restored to those who knew how to carry it. The mining company would look elsewhere. The paperwork would find some other valley to complicate. He preferred it this way. No police report, no headline, only the quiet correction of a balance that should never have been tipped. The land, as it always had, would remember who had listened.